This is a really exciting video for me. Today we've got the Titleist GT3 driver. I've been a Titleist fanboy since I was a kid. I've always had at least one Titleist club in the bag, and this is one I've been really excited to get out and test. It's a players club, or certainly feels to me like a players club, and there's some new technology in this driver head that I think is going to really help me gain some speed and hit more fairways. So let's go see how we get on. So I've got the Titleist GT3 here with me today. So I've been down to Woburn to look at the drivers, and I had a fitting away from Woburn where I was able to hit the GT3 and the GT4, and the GT3 with this shaft was the best thing for me. This is the first Titleist driver I've ever been custom fit for and received, so I'm really excited. The first thing to note is the head cover is so quality. So that's what Titleist are all about. It's quality, it's premium, it's classy, and the head cover matches the brand. So head cover's off. Now just look at that head. It is an absolute work of art. I don't know how Titleist do it. They managed to get all the tech in, and it looks good, it looks premium, it looks modern, but it's classic as well, and that is a bit of me. Right, I've got this set on A1, so just standard 10-degree head. I do have the weight moved into T1, which is slightly towards the toe, just to stop those quick left balls, which sometimes I get. I've got the Tensai 65X shaft with a aligned grip. This is pretty much the perfect build for me. So in theory, I'm going to hit all these shots straight down the fairway, and there won't be much to talk about. Oh, yeah. There's something about these Titleist clubs that they feel so solid. As soon as I hit that, it feels like the ball's being compressed by something really heavy, and I like that feeling. I don't want to say that other brands' drivers feel light and tinny, but that felt really noticeably heavy and meaty, and I think that's what you want to feel on a driver. You want to feel like the club is putting some speed in to the strike, and that felt really good. So the numbers on that were pretty good. That was a pretty decent carry for me, especially uphill, but we can get deeper into the numbers a bit later. So this, like, behind the ball, I don't think there's a better looking driver. You know, the plain black head, the lines on the face make it really easy to line up. I like the GT little feature on the top of the crown, just to know so you know where the middle of the face is. Titleist drivers, they almost haven't changed how they look behind the ball since forever. My first driver was a Titleist 905T, which was a really small headed thing. I couldn't hit it, but it looked cool. When I think of Titleist, I think of like a young Adam Scott, a young Tiger, a young McIlroy. You know, these are like some of the best players in the world. They all started with Titleist because the gear is so good, and they've been like top of the tree or near top of the tree for basically as long as I've been playing golf. A bit high, right? Slightly toey. Was not quite as good a strike there, but actually for what is like the lower spinning sort of more players club, that still was quite forgiving off the face. So just jumping into the tech of this GT3, one of the big stories here is the new crown material. So it's a proprietary matrix polymer, which is a brand new material that Titleist have come up with. It's super advanced, but what it is it's really, really light. What that then allows them to do is move the weight around in the head to give you optimal launch and spin. We also have a new speed ring VFT, which basically means they've moved the weight around the face to give you better speed in the middle, and they've also got a variable thickness face, which you see across a lot of different drivers now, which just means that whether you hit it off the middle, the toe or the heel, high or low, you should get reasonable performance and reasonable ball speeds and launch conditions from any part of the face, and that will help me, so I know it's going to help you. Let's hit another one. I mean, I love the shape. Just feels so strong out the face. I mean, that ball, you obviously can't see that from here, but that ball is like right next to the other ball, so that's good. Slightly toey again. Ball speed not quite as high as that first one I hit. That was truly middle, but it carries up. The spin's really good, the launch is great. I'm really hitting sort of like optimal conditions here. Launching at 13 and spin sort of mid 2000s is pretty good. Obviously I've been custom fit for this driver, so it should be performing as well as ever. Maybe what we'll do is I might just move the weight from T1 over to T2 and just see how the driver feels when we're moving the weight around. Right, new setting. Let's see if we can stop that ball going. There's left. I mean, all these shots are on the fairway, so I don't want to say that they're left. They're in play. I just want to see if I can nail one straight down the flag. Much straighter. So hopefully you'll see on camera with the shot tracer That has like gone way further right than the other two. Interestingly, ball speed a fraction hotter there, ball's launch still good, carry maybe 5 yards further than the two that I've gone to the left. You know, that's gone, you know, significantly further right, which is amazing to say that I've literally just moved the weight, you know, half a centimetre from the centre towards the toe. On the GT3, they've moved this adjustable weight track closer to the face, which has just allowed them to control your flight and your launch conditions a little bit better. And the other thing with the new technology, especially with the crown, is because it's Titleist's own material and they can really do whatever they like with it, they've been able to mess around with the acoustics so that we're still getting that same Titleist premium sound that we expect. I think Titleist do a great job of listening to like tour player feedback, and they know what tour players want. They've been building great drivers for so long. One of the indicators of this being like one of the best drivers on the market at the moment is how many non-contracted tour players have it in the bag. There are an awful lot of players who have moved to live or on the PGA Tour that are sort of just not signing contract deals anymore, that are gaming this driver because A, it looks great, B, the strikes feel so solid, and it performs. You know, I'm getting decent carry, decent ball speed off like a pretty normal club speed, and I just love the way it sounds, and I love that flight it's giving me. Right, come on, let me see if I can bomb this one. Spinny, bit off the bottom. I mean, I can't believe how different the flight is having moved the weight. Like, the ball's setting off so much further to the right than it was when it was more, you know, more central. My club speed was a bit faster on that one. My ball speed was up a mile an hour, but just spun the ball a bit more. It was a bit of a low strike, so it's not carried massively different to the previous ones. I'll hit one more, see if I can get some big numbers out of it, and then we'll talk about the numbers. Toey. Get down. Get down. That's fine. Absolutely fine. 108 club speed. 160, bit further, spin was dropped a little bit, slightly toey. Now I could game this driver, there's no doubt. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, it sounds good, and there's something about having the Titleist head cover in the bag, pulling it off. All you playing partners know that you're a player. Whether Titleist like it or not, their reputation is for the better player, and I like the fact that I'm pulling out a player's looking driver and people are going to stand there and sort of admire the club I've got in my hands. Now that's total vanity, total ego, but I'm not afraid to admit it. I just like how it looks, and I like that it screams you're a good golfer. So just looking at the data here, we're seeing a 108 mile an hour club speed, 161 ball speed, which is pretty good for me for like a gamer sort of speed. 108 club speed, 161 ball speed. Now my smash factor is pretty good, 1.5, which means I'm a good ball striker. The launch angle's pretty good. Now, my only criticism of the data here is I am spinning the ball quite high, averaging at 3,000. Now, looking at the peak height, I'm averaging it there, 124 feet, which is just slightly too high. So if I was going to fine tune this driver a little bit more, I'm probably going to take either half a degree or a degree of loft off just to get that launching a bit lower, spinning a little bit less, and probably then going a little bit further. We know that when you're having a fitting and you're hitting 20, 30, 40, 50 drives, then you swing sort of, you get really loose and maybe you launch it slightly differently to how you do on the course. So I would always suggest that you come out on the course, if you can, with a launch monitor, your PGA Pro or a club fitter, just to see, do we need to fine tune it even further? I'm really happy with the club they've sent me, but I think I might just need to adjust the loft slightly just to get it absolutely perfect. Average carry is 265, but what's really interesting when you look at the shot dispersion from the TrackMan is every single ball has landed between 262 and 267. So that's remarkable consistency, and I didn't necessarily hit the ball out the middle of the face every time. So that's a huge nod to Titleist. That's really impressive. That's the speed ring technology in the VTF, the variable thickness face, just allowing me to, even though I'm not making my best swings, I'm still getting the ball 265 yards through the air, down the hole, and with a bit of fine tuning that might get to 270, 275. So this is a great driver, the GT3. You need to get out and try it. You need to go get fit for it because they've got a lot of different shafts, a lot of different heads. Titleist, I think, have got a really well-rounded range. So the GT range, there's a driver in there for everybody, every golfer, a fast player, a medium player like me, a slightly slower player, and then even players that need some help. They're not just a club for good players, they're a club for the dedicated golfer, and that can mean you're off 28 or +5. They've got something in the range for everybody. I love that driver. It may just go in my bag this season, but there's a few more drives I need to test, so keep an eye out for those.